Hey, today I'm going to talk to you all about driving anxiety. If you know my story, then you know that driving anxiety was one of the most difficult things for me to get through. I had a panic attack behind the wheel, and ever since that traumatic experience, I was not able to drive the same anymore. Maybe this is like what you experienced, or maybe you just feel super anxious whenever you're behind the wheel or a passenger in the car, and this really steals a lot of your independence because you're not able to get from place to place as easily. I totally get it, and I've been there. So in this video, you're gonna learn some of the top things that got me through those driving anxiety days. Listen. Okay. So for starters, when I would even walk towards my car, I would feel the physical symptoms of anxiety. I would get a racing heart, I would get a tightness in my throat, I would sweat, I would feel DPDR, and I would just feel like this wasn't right, like impending doom, like I was doing something wrong by getting behind the wheel. My body, my anxiety, everything screamed no. Everything screamed, turn around, you should not be getting behind this wheel. And unfortunately, for a long time, I listened to it. I listened to it and I let it dictate when I was gonna drive, who I was gonna be with in the car, where I was able to go, how many miles, and it really took a toll on what I was and was not able to do. If you're experiencing driving anxiety, then you probably understand that it does steal a bit of your independence. And at this point, you are probably yearning just to be able to drive normally again, or maybe you haven't had the chance to drive normally yet. I'm here to show you everything that helped. My very first tip that helped me get back behind the wheel was positive affirmations. I know they sound very like they won't work, but they do if you find ones that work well for you. So what I mean when I say that is find ones that really hit the soft spot in you. For example, my positive affirmations while driving, as soon as I sat behind my wheel, was I am safe, I am in control of this vehicle, and I will arrive to my destination safely. Because there was a lot of lack of control feelings in the car. I felt as though when I had feelings of unreality or DPDR and I was driving, I was going to lose control of the car. And of course, nobody wants to feel like they were going to lose control of the car. I mean, you want to be safe. That's what anxiety is. It's trying to protect you. So in order to master this, I highly recommend a few positive affirmations every time that you get behind the wheel. It really does make all the difference. That's the first tip. The second tip. It's okay to have a couple of things with you that you might need. For example, for me, I always needed cold water. I don't know why. Cold water and cold air, whether it's the AC or the windows open, helped tremendously. It's okay if you just have a cold water with you. That's not necessarily a safety-seeking behavior. Water is important for human life and for consumption, especially if you're traveling a ways away. The other thing that's really important that I like to have with me was gum. I know some people say you don't want to rely on gum or you don't want to rely on candies, and I get it. I agree. You shouldn't want to rely on it. But if you're just putting your toe back in the water for driving, these are some things that you might want to consider. Gum is a great distraction while driving. It helps you chew, it helps your jaw relax and unclench. And those two things, cold water and gum, can make all of the difference while you're driving. The third thing that I want you to remember is that you are going to be anxious. Prepare yourself for that. Tell yourself, self, I know that I'm going to be anxious. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with feeling anxiety. I know it feels like there's something wrong when you have anxiety, but there's actually nothing wrong. So I want you to remind yourself often that you are still in control of the car and you are still in control of your body, even when anxiety wants you to think otherwise. Keep that reminder, keep repeating it to yourself. You are going to feel anxious when you start to drive again, but that doesn't mean you can't handle it. You can handle anything. You have to remind yourself of that. You're a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for, right? The most important thing that I want you to remember is that when you are driving, it's important to do it in baby steps. For example, exposure can be done all at once, or it can be done in small, bite-sized steps. I did it in these small steps, and I really do feel as though it made a huge difference in how I was able to drive again. At first, when I was starting, I did just down the block, just down my road. I had no destination, and I just kind of went, and I felt really anxious the whole time. But as soon as I got back into my driveway, I was proud of myself, and that feeling of being proud of yourself motivates you to go a little bit further the next time. You'll see what I mean. Then, after going down the block, I was able to try to go to my local store. Then I went to go grab a nice hot tea, and I came back. And I was so proud of myself to now be able to go and get groceries and to go and get a drink and bring it home and enjoy it. Again, this does not mean that I wasn't anxious while driving. I was a wreck while driving, back and forth from getting that cup of tea. But as soon as I got home and I was able to sit on my couch and enjoy my tea, I reflected on my drive. And I told myself, that wasn't actually that bad. The feelings of anxiety weren't actually that bad. They felt bad, but I got through them, and now I'm able to enjoy my tea and enjoy the rest of my afternoon. And I could check it off of my list, and again, I felt proud and I felt accomplished. Then a few weeks later from driving, I tried to go all the way to the beach. The beach from my house is about 2.5 hours, so it was quite a drive, and I was very, very nervous. At this point, I did have my water, I had some gum, but I wasn't necessarily relying on it. I didn't really mind if it was there or not there. I knew that I could do it, and I reminded myself of the positive affirmations, and I reminded myself that even if I get anxious, I'm still gonna arrive to my destination safely. And I was right. I did it. I stopped at a couple of rest stops along the way, and I used the restroom, and I kind of regrouped myself, and I was so proud of myself for going those 2.5 hours. So the moral of the story is I'm now able to drive anywhere that I need to drive, and I don't even think twice about anxiety, about physical symptoms, about another panic attack that may or may not happen behind the wheel. So if you're thinking of driving again after a traumatic experience or for the first time and you're just very anxious, my words of advice to you are do it. Just do it. Know that you will feel uncomfortable, but like I always say, comfort does not equal change. Comfort does not equal progress. Most things in life make you uncomfortable, and that uncomfortability equals progress. And I know you want progress. So keep your goal really at the forefront of your mind throughout all of this. And overall, what I want you to know is that you can do it. But you have to believe that you can do it too. You have to remember that you can believe it. It's more important that you know it than that I know it. So go out and do it. Stop watching this video. Go take a drive. Go down the block. Go down the road. You don't need a destination. Just go for a drive. You've got this. You're gonna be so proud of yourself. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.